Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back. Hey, listen, this is my character analysis video for season 4 of Raising Kanan, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, you guys. Um, I should have been on here doing the character analysis video before now, but I could not get the audio and the visual to upload. I don't know why. I worked on it. I cried about it. Like, I'm a ultra Virgo, and things have to be just right, and if it's not, it will eat at me and eat at me until it's right. And I had to just finally release it because it was important for me to get this up to you guys before episode 8, because I do have some predictions that I put in my character analysis video, and I wanted to make sure I got it up and out before whatever happens at 8 happens, right? Because after the fact, everybody knew it was gonna happen. It's always important to me to maintain my integrity. So here I am with the regular video. Typically, when I do character analysis, I will put the photos of the characters up, and then I give my spiel about what I thought of that character for the season. And unfortunately, I don't have the visual to put up for whatever reason. I mean, yikes. The outfits on Rock alone was going to be dramatic, but I digress. But I did want to put something out here for you guys to chew on as you prepare for episode 8, all right? Let me just tell you what I did. I went back and I watched season 1, season 2, and parts of season 3. The original Power, from the time Kanan came on board, Juke came on board, to the ending of that character in the original Power series. And so, hey, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. And I'm not going to drop all that information here, but I will tell you that I do understand our characters a little bit better now that I've gone back and refreshed my memory, reminded myself of some things, and also just looked at my character from the rear view mirror, right? Like, we're in season 4, but going back and looking at Rock in season 1 and Kanan and Juke, the unique character. I mean, I just did not remember how pivotal the unique character was throughout this entire series, right? Like, a lot of Rock's dirty work was against Unique, or was in retaliation of something that Unique had done. Like, they've been warring from season 1 for sure, you know. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to talk about Rock first because Rock is my favorite character. And listen, I have no rose-colored glasses on about who Rock is. I do not. I think Rock's probably got more bodies under her as a character than anyone else. I think the terms of body count, I think is Rock, and then Marvin. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Unique is pretty high up there. Obviously Lou, and then Juke and Kanan's body count. Kanan got more bodies on him than Juke do currently, but yeah, the body count alone from season 1 just lets you know who's the big dog around here, and that's gonna be Rock. She's my MVP. Again, I make no delusions about the fact that Rock is a piece of work. You know what I'm saying? But that's the game she in. She's in the drug game. She's a queen pin. Okay, she rules with an iron fist. This is Jamaica Queens. She can't get caught slipping, right? Okay. When we meet Rock in season 1, although this is like pre her becoming the queen pin per se. She is um she's hooked up with High Post, who was, I think, Kanan's favorite, but she's still bad. You know what I'm saying? She still got her acid wash jeans on. She got her high low haircut, with the shag in the back. She got her fancy, glasses on, shades on, so on and so forth. She was always this way. And we find out that really how the family sort of broke up and disbanded, her, Marvin, and Lou, is because their dad unalived himself, right? And when her dad unalived himself, the mom just became very neglectful. And I think she probably was always a narcissist, but maybe her relationship with their father kept her from being as verbally brutal, so on and so forth. But losing that love, losing that person, you know, she said, she guess she decided she was going to do her own thing. And so Marvin, being the oldest, had to rear them. And Rock is the middle child, and baby Lulu is the youngest, right? So at a certain point, she wasn't coming home with the street lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got a mama and a daddy, and these are the rules, these are the rules. But when you got a brother that's helped to rear y'all, your mama's out doing her own thing in her own way. She don't really care, and your brother's doing illegal activities. He can't really keep up. He can keep the lights on. He can keep the bills paid, but he can't keep up with you. You out here in this street, and you got a baby by 16. A baby by a police officer, a detective, right? A grown man got a baby with a baby. All right? And so begins this after the death of her father. That was really the start of it, but so begins the shaping of the Raquel Thomas character. This is what shaped Rock. She was with Def Con first, who was secretly gay, and she didn't have to worry about the things girls have to worry about with him, but at the same time, he taught her the game. Now, he might have taught her indirectly, because she served a purpose in his life too, as the beard. But indirectly, she watched him work and do his work, and she learned a little bit from him. Then he goes off to jail, and she gets with High Post, and she learns a little bit from him. When Marvin becomes a junkie and gets locked up, by this time she's sort of established herself as a member of the Thomas clan. They all kind of worked the business. She brought what she knew in, and they all kind of worked the business. And then when Marvin went away, she not only raised Jukebox, but she became the pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? The queen pin. The queen pin, right? And we're shown in season 1. We're not to forget this. We are not to forget this. The demonstrative way she talks to Marvin is very similar to the way Marvin's mom talks to him in season 4. Okay? The way that Kanan talked to Fame before he put him out his own apartment is very similar to the way Rock talked to Marvin, and Joyce, their mama Joyce, talked to all of the kids. Kanan came by honestly, where you just, you know what I'm saying, you unhinge your tongue and you let somebody have it in the most ruthless way. If you go back and really listen to that dialogue that in season 1, not just between Rock and Marvin. She was brutal to him in season 1. Now, he wasn't the smartest. He wasn't the quickest. You know what I'm saying? But, baby, it's harsh. It's brutal. It's ruthless, right? And so we had mixed feelings about Rock in season 1. right? Then the Howard character comes on board, right? And it it's just exacerbated. Rock begins to spin out trying to keep her secrets, and in conjunction with trying to protect Kanan and all of these things. And we see Rock sort of get more and more hardened. More and more hardened. Beautiful flower. She's a bad mama jamma. She looked good. Okay, she looked good. She always looked good. Always pulled together. Even if she at home in the kitchen with a house coat on. When Kanan got shot up, baby, she came out there with that head tie on, child. And she, for that brief moment, she looked like Mama Joyce. But for the most part, Rock always pulled together. She always camera ready. All right. And she was a very captivating woman. Everybody really was captivated by her. Um, we see where in season 1 and season 2, she built a beautiful empire in the Basie, and she had it set up where it was not to fail. It was not to fail, right? Um, Obviously, she's got a rival, and that was Unique in season 1 and season 2. In season 3, he became our friend again, right? But you don't really realize how many things Rock did, how many bodies up under Rock. Oh my gosh. And then this is why everybody's mad. This is why everybody was upset, right? This is our Rock character. But the way that this character was written, you can't help but love her, even though you hate her. You can't, even though the body she has under her, the Wiz, Scrap. I mean, the Scrap piece was crazy. And then to double back and do Scrap's mom, right? The things she had Marvin do and Lou do, the things she did herself, she was not beyond that, right? It was just, I mean, but I still like her. She's still my MVP. She's still my number one, right? And when you go back to season 1 and you go back to season 2, folded into 3 and now into 4, you can see Rock going forward has very little influence on Kanan. The Kanan we knew from Power, right? But the things she did to protect him and to protect herself and to protect the family and the family business is what wounded Kanan, right? Even though I don't feel like the Kanan character has really been expanded upon from season 1 to season 4. That's a long time for our main character not to have been expanded upon, right? Typically. But because we're sort of working backwards, because we know the end result for Kanan and Juke and all that, we don't know the end result for Rock and Lou and Marvin as of yet. So we really have not opened up and expanded the Kanan character. What Sasha Penn has done is opened up and expanded the auxiliary characters: Rock, Marvin, Lulu, Unique, right? So our first experience with Rock killing even by proxy because Marvin did it. Lulu did it. Was the Wiz. The Wiz, right? Which was Kanan's best friend. Now it was really Kanan's fault, but we not gonna open it. We're not gonna open that can of worms. And then it just goes on from there. The framing of Unique. She had Marvin go in and frame Unique for Howard to protect. She does a light check of and Howard really used her. He used her the whole time. The light check she had Marvin do on Scrap, and didn't even talk to Scrap about it or any of that stuff, and unalived him. Then double back and unalived his mama. Um, some things people deserved. You know, the inspector, the housing inspector at the Basie, got tried to SA her, right? So he deserved what he deserved, but I think the most brutal part of the Rock character is how she schemed and manipulated to keep Kanan from learning the truth. And it was a shift in their relationship because up until then he was her little boy and she was mommy, right? And we moved from there to teaching him how to cook, to teaching him how to shoot, how many times to shoot and where in the body to shoot. You know, she did try to send him away and keep him honest. She tried to put him in preparatory school, and none of that worked. Eventually, everything she was bled outside the circle, and it got all over Kanan. It got all over Kanan, right? The way she treated her brothers, um, you know, as they evolved and changed, she just was very inflexible with all of that. And it drove a wedge. It wasn't until Marvin was got hurt, that she she changed the way she spoke with him. And so we see in season 4 where the Rock character um, is dependent on Marvin, and we get to see dialogue between Marvin and Rock, where he explains the world doesn't revolve around you, Rock. I have an opportunity to do my own thing, right? The dynamics between Marvin and Juke, there are times where Rock mitigated that because it got real bad between the two of them, and she brought them together to talk and to reconcile. Okay, so from season 1 to season 2, our characters just went through so much, and the Rock character alone, I mean, she was built up, she was shaped, she was formed for us to enjoy. And then we've sort of seen a deconstructing of the Rock character now moving into from season 3 into season 4. A lot of it was built out of her own desperation. A lot of it was built out of her own need to maintain, that iron fist, that type of thing. But I think in season 4 we're gonna see the shift of the softening of the Rock character for sure, because the character is gonna fade out, right? I don't think she's gonna be unalived, not in season 4, and it would be a missed opportunity for her to be unalive. Period. I do believe, and here is where my predictions come in. I think either the Rock character is going to be gone to jail because she won't snitch, or the Rock character is going to be in Witsack because she does snitch. We've had 2 opportunities that I know of to introduce the fact that Rock is a potential snitch. One, Howard was investigating her man and and was using Rock to get information. And so that's something we know for sure that kind of led to Kanan being born, right? And remember, before Attorney Andre was unalived by Unique in season 4, um, Attorney Andre told her, the police want you to snitch, and she was like, I don't snitch. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if she will, but the opportunity has been presented at least twice in the series, right? So it's something, right? So that's my prediction really for the Rock character. There's a lot of bodies behind what Rock has done, and so if the character was unalived, it is what it is. But at the same time, there's not a better character to love and to hate than Raquel Thomas. All right, let's talk really quick about Marvin. Listen, I love the Marvin character. I like how when the Marvin character started out in season 1, he was this sort of doofus. This is how they portrayed him. He always had his sidekick with him. That's Snacks. Snacks is his sidekick, right? It's wonderful branding. The Snacks and the toothpick, right? But when he started out, he was sort of this muck up, this doofus, somebody you had to stay on top of, or they be somewhere popping off. The He and Kanan together, he was the wrong person. He was to keep up with Kanan and keep Kanan protected, but in terms of training, he was the wrong person to train Kanan. A lot of the foolish business that Kanan he learned it from Marvin, right? Him and Marvin had a little private business going on over there in the truck stop. A mess. And it led to countless deaths, right? Kanan got a lot of bodies under him, but inadvertently because he made bad crack. But I digress. So, and we see the Marvin character has evolved from there, right? We see where, like I said, the way Rock talked to him, it kind of beat him down. You see that same defeated demeanor when his mom, I'm sorry, Marvin, sorry, Marvin, sorry. We see that same demeanor, um, um, that defeated attitude when his mom was talking to him crazy, right? Um, and we see it with Rock. I mean, Rock was hard on Marvin. Still, through all of that, through everything that happened, his clash with Jukebox when he learned she was gay, and that was a hard. Ooh, that was a hard scene. To me, it's more brutal than any unaliving they had on here. Was how he threw Juke around that room and talked to her real bad. And even from that, the Marvin character evolved. When he learned about Kenya, Juke's mom, and how she had treated her, and he goes over there to defend Juke, um, you can tell that even though he was mad and he was angry, he was more measured. You see growth even with that. The Marvin character has continued to grow. I'm not saying he doesn't make foolish decisions. He does. He does. The best way to make sure a situation is dead is to dead it. Literally, right? So Marvin never met a character he couldn't unalive. All right? Except his mama, but I digress. All right? But we see this evolution of Marvin, always having his siblings back, always still continuing to look out for them. When Lou's house got set on fire, he was the one that kicked in the door and got Lou up out of there. Yeah, 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 yeah. And for as demonstrative as Rock was to Marvin, she knew she could always depend on him. She knew she could always call on him, right? She has not been able to always call on Lou through the last 3 seasons. We know that for a fact, for a lot of different reasons, but we're going to talk about that when we get to Lou. And so after Marvin had this horrible clash with his daughter and he was injured in the dismantling of the Basie and hurt real bad, we see where he's got people that he cares about. He runs these streets, but he got people that he looked out for. We saw where he, instead of unaliving Sam, who saw Kanan attempt to unalive Howard, he gave him an opportunity to get on the bus and go. And the only reason he ended up unaliving him is because he didn't. He was a junkie. And he gave him the money. He came right on back and spent that money and got high. And Marvin had to run down on him and go ahead and unalive him. But it broke his heart to have to do it. Same thing with Gerald. He didn't unalive Gerald. Gerald was a junkie. But Gerald became his friend. He not only liked Gerald, who was a part of his support group, but he liked Gerald's daughters. Took care of them even after Gerald's death. It broke his heart about Gerald. He fell in love with Renee, his counselor in the support group where he met Gerald. He fell in love with her. She was unalived, and he was broken up about that, right? We see to me, that character has had, outside of Rock, has had one of the greatest evolutions, I think. I also think this is our last season with that character. I do believe that. And Marvin is the linchpin that keeps Juke, that will get Juke to fully explode and come to a full on rolling boil. Because right now, she's just on simmer, right? But the loss of the Marvin character is going to push the Jukebox character over the edge that we know now that she'll never be able to come back from. Just think about what the loss of the Marvin character is going to mean to the Rock character, right? We know that Lou doesn't want to do this work anymore, right? And Marvin is her one steadfast assurance. Rock don't have no friends. She ain't got no girlfriends. She ain't building an empire with one of her crew members. Marvin is it. Before Marvin was Lou. That was her confidant, right? Losing that piece, him being the confidant and him being the muscle, it's a major blow. It's a major blow to the Thomas family, to the Thomas empire, right? hmm I'm just saying. Why would Lou stay? He don't want to be in the business. If Marvin is gone, I think the Lou character is going to be gone too. Not unalive, and I think the Lou character is moving away because he can no longer be in that setting. He can no longer be in that setting, right? Because as long as you there, they gonna always pull you back in. I try to get out, and you pull me back in, right? So the loss of the Marvin character is going to be pivotal to moving away from the Thomases. The mama's gone. Rock is softening, right? And she being caught off guard by Unique, baby. Okay. I think we're going to be moving away from the Thomases and moving into more in depth with a 20-something-year-old Kanan. That's what I believe. There's going to be a major time jump in season 5. All right. Let's talk about Juke, who's my third favorite, and then we're going to talk about Unique, who is my fourth favorite. I love the Juke character. I have always supported the Juke character. Juke herself, she although she's very low key, she's one of the persons that sit in the back room and just listen and watch everybody. So Juke knows a lot, right? But she don't get to really say a lot. She's also been probably one of the most brutalized between her mom and her dad. Finding out she's gay, her mom being a religious zealot and having her abused and beaten, trying to beat the gay out of her and that type of thing, telling all her business and sending a boy to basically SA her until Juke had to mollywop his butt. She was disappointed by Uncle Lou because Uncle Lou really showed more interest in fame than he did her as a singer. And to me, she was way more talented than fame. But it's the 80s, and she a girl, right? All I'm saying. So she's been more brutalized and let down, and we just see Juke kind of get quieter and quieter. She finds her a girlfriend that she's in love with. It's young puppy love, that type of thing, and she loses her thanks to Kanan and his poor cooking skills. She loses her, right? We don't even get to see the Juke character. We see her mourn Nicole, but we don't get to see her really let Kanan have it. The Juke character is not allowed that. I do think we kind of sort of saw it and felt it in the Power series. She wasn't as kind and as friendly to Kanan. Now we don't know if it's because something that happens in 5 and 6, season 5 and 6, but I could see in that moment she was over Kanan when she, when he came in injured and she had to help him in the Power series. There's a moment where she's like, "I'm so sick of your ish. I am so sick of your ish. I'm so sick of seeing about you and taking care of you. Like I'm over it." Okay. But we don't get to see it in Raising Canaan, right? She continues to stick by um, Kanan. She's fiercely loyal. The fact that she has taken up the mantle of punishing the person that unalive Fame. The fact that she is probably ain't a Raquel's um, best friend. She's the keeper of the secret, so on and so forth. We do see her develop and evolve, eventually go on off to the army and come back to the family in her own way, a little bit different. Um, I really like the Juke character. I do. I don't know that we needed it to be expounded upon. I do hope we get to see her in 5 and 6. Um, but I think we're probably gonna see the explosion of Juke and her becoming this rock personified character in her own little lesbian way. I think we're going to see that at the end of this season. I do. And I think going forward, Juke's going to be like her father. She's going to be the hitter. Smarter, wiser, because she spent all of her time being the person in charge while not looking like the person in charge. Okay, I think that is gone. I think Juke's going to be in charge of her own ish. And she says as much to Kanan. I'm not working for you. I'm going to do my own thing. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Juke went through more of a change, of an evolution than the Kanan character did. That's what I think about that. Let's talk about Unique. Unique is, man, going back and watching season 1 and season 2, I have such an appreciation for the Unique character. Um, just what Joey Bad Arse brought to the Unique character is special. And I'm not saying that because Joey Bad Arse is fine and good looking and my type. Okay, and that's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying it because when you go back and listen to that dialogue of him walking in the park with Raquel, some of the things that he said, the way the energy he put towards her, it was always meant to be. Their relationship, how it blossomed in season 3, was brewing that whole time. He was her arch nemesis, right? And they treated each other so cruel. Season 1, season 2, right? But he turned out to be tenderhearted, right? Not as tenderhearted as Lou, okay? Because Lou felt bad about what happened. We're going to talk about Lou. But anyway, but not as tenderhearted as Lou, but he turned out to be tenderhearted. We learned about his fierce loyalty. He ain't a snitch, even with his own cohorts, because one of the reasons why things calmed down between him and Rock, outside the fact that he saved her life, was the fact that the Italians and all of that was coming around trying to find out about Rock and trying to get him, and he could have snitched on her, but he did not. He did not, even though Rock sent Marvin around there to set him up for Howard. Even though Unique felt the need to shoot up Lamont, right? Because of what happened to Two Buck. You know, Buck 20. I don't know what the boy name is. Okay, in the D Wiz situation. And then shot up Rock House trying to get at Kanan. You know what I'm saying? Like Unique was behind all that, Unique was the reason why Scrappy lost his eye. They pulled his eye out as a retaliation. He kidnapped Juliana and then ransomed her back to Rock, stole her money. Ransom Juliana back. But he would not snitch on her. He would not. Setting Unique up put him in jail for like 2 months, 3 months. And when he came out, he could have been on that rage, on that rage. For whatever reason, he decided to move differently. Okay? And that Rock wouldn't have had that business at the Asian restaurant if it wasn't for Unique, because Unique had that business first. And he had moved into Jersey and he was working with the Italians on that side. Crazy, right? I'm talking about they was arch nemesis. So when he comes in 4 and he has made himself known as being alive to Rock, and he references DEF CON, he references um I forget the other guy, High Post. He references High Post and how dirty and how scheming, and we cannot figure out why does Unique think, why doesn't he blame his brother? Right? That's short-term memory. When you have a major head injury, that's short-term memory. His long-term memory was the word on the street is you gotta watch Rock because she do ninjas dirty. She knife you in the back. And so that long term memory is what he's recalling in season 4. Even though it's a part of him that still, you know what I'm saying, she light as a feather and he gets stiff as a board. You know what I mean? When he think about Rock. Because in season 3 he had slick fell in love with Rock. And she had feelings for him too, which is why she wanted to cut it all off. You know what I mean? Outside the fact that he living with his baby mama, you know what I'm saying, and his son. All right. When he tries to figure out what's going on with his brother, when his brother Ronnie comes out of jail and he's seeing how his brother's got some mental health issues, Rock is one of the people that he consults and talks to. Now you go from season 1 when they was like arch enemies, right? Killing each members of each other's crew, or at least trying, setting each other up. To now they snuggled up and he's getting advice from her. Right? It looked like it was gonna be something. And then Ronnie interferes, comes in, and Unique ends up bludgeoning half to death and loses that short term memory. And all he can focus on is the hatred that he had for Rock 2 seasons ago. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm telling you, go back. Because it really sheds a lot of light on why we're seeing the Unique character. Outside of the fact that the Unique character was supposed to be gone from the series, the way they brought him back, even though it is not our Unique, and some of the things he says and does doesn't make any sense because we know how he was taken out. When you really think about it in terms of long-term and short-term memory, he's got more memory of Rock being not so great than he does with what happened with him and Ronnie. Because he held on to Ronnie being okay for a long time. It wasn't until after he had that conversation with Rock and he realized I got to have a talk with my brother. Everything that happened subsequently, and he's broken. He's forever scratched. That record is not gonna play the same again. Okay, which is unfortunate because season 3 is the last time we see the Unique that we really liked. Right? Season 4, this is not a Unique that is as palatable, and it's unfortunate. But I'm gonna give kudos to Joey Badass because Joey Badass has done his thing in this season. This should be his last season, right? We already had that with Ronnie. We don't need it with Unique. Um, the unique character. So this should be the last season for the unique character. I mean, we got episode 8, 9, and 10, and it's gonna be explosive, you guys. It's gonna be really, really explosive. Let's talk about Lulu real quick. Lulu, Lulu, they really rushed the Lulu character. Season one, he was very, very strong, very, very sophisticated, stylish. All of them are stylish. Marvin, Rock, and the only one that's not really super stylish is, to me, Kanan, right? Juke was very stylish. Lulu's super stylish. I mean, Lulu could be in a magazine. Um, And, in season 4, Lulu's mom, Joyce, calls him fragile. And he takes it as offensive. But when you go back from season 1 and bring it forward, you can see that he is a tender-hearted character, right? Like what he had to do and how he had to go about um, getting it done broke Lou. That's the D Wiz situation, right? Um, Not saying that he wasn't a killer. He was always a killer. He was Rock's right hand man, and her initial confidant. Right? We see where Lou goes to see Rock, and he's talking to her. He's advising her. He's going to talk to other people on Rock's behalf. Right? What he had to do to D Wiz broke him. It became the initial crack in the whole thing. All right. And the way that Rock chipped off, it was never to be repaired. Okay. Then we get another chip and another break um, when it comes to how Rock manipulated the situation with Crown, and he ended up, which he never really liked Crown. He was playing Crown out to get what he wanted, because he after the D Wiz situation, he didn't want to be in the life no more, right? So meeting Crown and seeing an opportunity there, he sort of strong armed the Crown situation, because he knew that Crown had some proclivities, right? And so he sort of used that to move in to do his own thing with music. Again, not 100% getting behind Juke, more so getting behind Fame. He gets with Fame's sister, and upon finding out that Crown and Jessica kind of, mixed and mingled, and a lie told by Rock, basically, she made it seem like Crown was against Lou, and Lou put the two together, baby, and Lou ended up unaliving Crown. It's another break in the Rock. Before this, Lou is a chisel boulder. By the time we get to the Crown situation, he has been chiseled all the way down. He doesn't want to do this work anymore. This is not the life that he wants anymore, right? He ends up having to be present when Rock unalive Scrap. I mean, by this time, the boulder is a mere pebble. And then the piece de resistance is, he probably always was drinking, but by this time he's a full on drunk. He's a full on drunk. Crown is gone. He don't want to be this person anymore. And then the piece de resistance, he goes and unalives Scrap's mama. Yeah. Yeah. Now, there were other people that he unalived because, again, they were at war with Unique, right? So henchmen and some Italians and that type of thing. But these are people that are right around the way in Jamaica, Queens, that he is responsible for unaliving. It's no way that if Lou is gonna stay sober and Lou is gonna you know, be this different person in life, that the Lou character can stay in Jamaica, Queens. It's just no way. He was a raging drunk. They almost unalive Lou. They almost unalive Lou because Lou was telling all the business while he was drunk. Bad way. When Lou comes out after rehab, he's had reconciliation with his sister. Um, and he's just a different person. Even when as it pertains to the Lowell character, he doesn't just jump on the job that Lowell offers him. He does not. He does not. He makes a wise decision to think before he leaps, right? Even with the B. Rilla character, he could beat him with an inch of his life. He could, you know what I'm saying, mollywop him real good. But he is in a different place, a different headspace right now. He's not the same Lulu. And if we can't expect him to be the new Lulu in Jamaica Queens. I predict that the Lulu character, as fragile as he is, as kind-hearted as he's been, just like Marvin, this is not who they signed up to be per se. Who they are as Rock's henchmen and right hand and so on and so forth. This was developed out of necessity, taking care of each other, paying each other's bills. This is not really who they are. This is who they evolved to become after their father unalived himself. And so we now see the Marvin character, the Lou character, try to shake those things off of them to become who they really want to be. You know, the kind of person they really want to be. Um, and so I think the show is following that lead in terms of we're probably not going to see the Lou character. We may see him end of five, middle of six, but just returning for whatever reason. But I think after what I predict is going to happen with Marvin, I think the Lou character is going to pick up and the Lou character is going to go. Not unalive, just go. Right? Let's talk about Kanan. I was going to say that the Kanan character is undeveloped, but not really. When you just think about from season one to season two, he became this sort of hard-headed. I can see why he don't let Rock talk at all because really she has manipulated him and lied, and it bothers me. It bothers me the way he talked to his mama. But when you go back and look at season one and season two and just see some of the stuff that Rock did, ooh, you can see why he hates her, and it's a deep rooted hate because he loves her. He loves her so much. But to love her so much and also hate her at the same time, he's got to have a warring in his spirit. The problem is that when he went off half cocked, moved in with fame, he didn't know enough to be out there. He don't know enough to be out there on his own. He's learned a lot in terms of who his mama is, but he don't know nothing in terms of life experience, resources, all of that. He only had a teaspoon of knowledge from Marvin and from his mama, and maybe a half a teaspoon from Lou. I can't. I mean, so uh, you don't know enough. He got all this anger and all this fury, but he's not. He didn't stick around long enough to really be shaped and formed, right? To really be shaped and formed. He jumped out there on his own. And so his character is more annoying than anything. He's probably, I would say, for me, he's the least likable character. I think it's going to change because we won't have the Marvin personality. We won't have the Rock personality 24/7, right? Like we have it now, every episode. All right? We won't have probably the Juke character as much. I think we're going to see Juke more in 5 and 6, but in the capacity that she was, just listening ear and da 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 da. Mm-mm. We won't have that Juke. So we're gonna really see, okay, Kanan, the Kanan character. Now what you gonna do? Who you gonna be? How you gonna be that? Yeah, yeah. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about Kanan. I don't believe that Kanan's gonna unalive his mom. We've seen season after season that no matter how mad or upset or how bad things get between them, they look out for each other. They look out for each other. This is truly a love hate relationship. So I don't think he's going to unalive his mom. I think there's going to be distance between them. Either for her, it's going to be jail or Witsec. Um, but I don't think he's going to unalive her. I think we're probably going to be surprised about the bodies that he add because of Rock, protecting Rock. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I think we're going to be shocked to see, how he turns against the family. But that's really all of I have for you guys today. That is the care. I apologize. It's not my normal voiceover video with pictures of the character and that type of thing. But I wanted you guys to have some point of reference about how I felt about our characters, bringing it up from season 1 into season 4. Because again, in season 4, we see the softening of Rock. One, she's off her game because she never saw the unique piece coming. Even though it wasn't intentional to the original script, the unique character coming back really positioned knocked the Rock character off her game. Um, the Juke character, I'm glad that we were able to put a little bit more layers onto the Juke character, which is going to bring us forward into the Juke that we saw in the Power. Um, Marvin has just become the lovable puppy of the series, and I'm gonna hate. I really am gonna hate to see Marvin go. Um, and the Lou character, I think it's time for the Lou character to move out, and I think moving out now would be a perfect opportunity to bring him back at some point for even just the shortest little scene. It's gonna add to the season 5 and season 6, whichever one. All right, and the evolution of the Kanan character, you guys, I'm ready to see Kanan 20 and up. I'm ready for the time jump, the annoying high school kid that don't know enough to wipe his own nose. I'm over it, and I'm ready for this character to really become that strong jaw, emotionless. Thanks to Rock, that emotionless character that we saw in Power. I'm looking for that Kanan, raising Kanan. You guys tell me what you think. What did you think about this analysis? I'd love to know. Put it down below. Listen, until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah.